We would also like to acknowledge the presence of Rotaract Downtown Davao from Tekara College Foundation and from District 3860 PDRR Alster Tekaro. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. We will begin shortly. Thank you so much for patiently.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Aster.
As the president of the Rotary Club of Cebu Fuente community-based chapter, I now call the Zoom Connect to order. And our host for today, you have already heard her a while ago. Please welcome the Rotary Club of Cebu Fuente's Club Service Director, Rotary Actor Scarlett Jade Papa.
Thank you so much, President Raymond. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Zoom Connect, strengthening group connections in the virtual world. We have a lot of things ready for you this afternoon. To formally begin our program, let us begin with the invocation.
Soul of Christ, sanctify me. Body of Christ, save me. Water from the side of Christ, wash me. Passion of Christ, give me strength. Hear me, Jesus. Hide me in thy wounds that I may never leave thy side. From all the evil that surrounds me, defend me. And when the call of death arrives, bid me come to thee, that I may praise thee with thy saints forever. Hear me, Jesus. Hide me in thy wounds, that I may never leave thy side. From all the evil that surrounds me, defend me. And when the call of death arrives, bid me come to thee, that I may praise thee with thy saints forever.
Let us pause for a moment to pray as one nation for recovery and healing. Oratio Imperata against the spread of the coronavirus. God our Father, we come to you in our need to ask your protection against the 2019 and coronavirus that has claimed lives and has affected many. We pray for your grace for the people tasked with studying the nature and cause of this virus and its disease, and of stemming the tide of its transmission. Guide the hands and minds of medical experts that they may minister to the sick with competence and compassion, and of those governments and private agencies that must find cure and solution to this pandemic. We pray for those afflicted. May they be restored to health soon. Grant us the grace to work for the good of all and to help those in need. Grant this through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, God forever and ever. Amen. Mary, help of Christians.
Pray for us.
Saint Raphael the Archangel.
Pray for us.
Saint Roch.
Pray for us.
Saint Lorenzo Ruiz.
Pray for us.
Saint Pedro Calungsod.
Pray for us.
Amen.
as a flag of peace and pearl. I shall serve my community, help achieve universal unity. To Terry, I shall dedicate my all. World understanding shall be my cherished goal. With a four-way test of the Lord is our guide. With a four-way test, we'll pursue our quest. If in our little way of the day, peace in the world, we shall not have lived in vain. Peace be achieved, we shall not have
Once again, good afternoon, everyone, and I would like to acknowledge the presence of IPP Stefan from Rotaract Metro Valencia from District 3870. And now for the four-way test and the goals of Rotaract, I would like to call on Community Service Director Rotaractor June Hizolen.
Okay, so for the four-way test of the things you think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Goals of Rotaract: to develop professional and leadership skills, to emphasize respect for the rights of others, and to promote ethical standards and the dignity of all useful occupations, to provide opportunities for young people to address the needs and concerns of the community and our world, to provide opportunities for working in cooperation with sponsoring Rotary clubs, and to motivate young people for eventual membership in Rotary.
Thank you so much, Rotaractor June. Now let us welcome President-elect and Club Secretary Rotaractor Jacob Jericho Delino for the introduction of dignitaries, Rotaractors, visiting Rotarians, and guests.
So good afternoon, everyone. Allow me to introduce the dignitaries, visiting Rotarians, Rotaractors, and guests. Led by the Rotaract Club of Cebu Fanta community-based transforming President Raymond Kapalak, from the District 3860 Club Service Director and Protocol Officer J.N. Vianney Dagandan, from the Rotary Club of Cebu Fente Public Relations, Club Internet and Communications Officer Director, Rotarian Christopher Ligunas, from the Rotary Club of Downtown Davao, Public Information Officer and Public Image Director, Alistair Ray Ticaro Jr., from the Rotary Club of Uptown Cubao, Youth Chair, Rotarian Charlene May Cajano, from the Rotary Club of Cebu Frente, community-based, immediate past President and Foundation Director, Angelo Francis Page, from the Rotary Club of Manila Metro, transforming President Derek Michael Casio, from the Rotary Club of Metro Valenzuela, immediate past President Alvin Renan San Juan Camat, from the Rotary Club of Metro Valencia, immediate past President Stefan Leo Ferrer, from the Rotary Club of Talakudong, immediate past President Charlie Bidanya. For our guest, we have our founder and main facilitator of To Explore Outdoor Classrooms, Mr. Segundo Abrea Jr., which we will have a proper introduction later, and yours truly from the Rotary Club of Cebu Frente Community-Based Secretary and President-elect Jacob Jericho Delino.
Thank you so much, Rotaractor Jacob Delino. Now for the welcome remarks, let us welcome Event Chair and immediate past President of Rotaract Club of Cebu Fuente, Rotaractor Angelo Francis R. Page.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, the new normal caused great gaps in distance and interaction among different relationships, including your partners, loved ones from afar, or even organizations. With this, keeping the relationship and connection intact and stable is probably one of the greatest challenges in sustaining club membership. So, how do we answer this problem? That's why this afternoon, Rotaract Club of Cebu Fuente Community Based is bringing you Zoom Connect, a webinar on strengthening group connections in the virtual world. Learn the basics of group dynamics through our resource speaker Bray, an expert on this field, who will teach you with workshops on the following: conducting virtual team buildings, understanding intergroup relationships, and strengthening group connections. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you so much, immediate past President Rotaract A. Julie Francis Page. And now to formally introduce our speaker, once again, Rotaractor A. Julie.
Okay, it is with pride and honor to introduce our guest speaker for this afternoon's webinar. He is a faculty staff of the Department of Psychology at the University of San Carlos, where he got his degree in psychology for batch 2004 and philosophy batch 2000. With almost 7-year exposure as an external facilitator with Rafi Cool Adventure Camp and skills development from Facilitator Circle and Outward Bound Singapore, he has founded To Explore Outdoor Classroom, where he shares his skills on experiential education with facilitators and practitioners and spearheads the team in the design and conduct of custom-fit, fun-filled, experience-based learning programs to cater the needs of each team or organization. In pursuit to skills advancement in environmental and adventure education programs, Bray spent 3 years as an outdoor instructor or adventure facilitator in Bradford Woods, Indiana University's Outdoor Center, Indiana, USA, where he was presented the Giving Tree Award, an outstanding outdoor instructor commendation in 2008. He is a certified trainer of Leave No Trace Outdoor Ethics and Play for Peace International and an international member of the Association for Experiential Education. He was given the Facilitator Par Excellence Award of the Facilitator Circle in 2008 and is now a member of its Board of Trustees. But beyond all these titles, this person has been a great life coach. He has consistently been an inspiration for his students to be effective facilitators and speakers. In addition, he plays a big part in making groups strong, cohesive, and better. He has touched 1,000 of lives because of his expertise in the field of experiential education. So for today, we are very privileged to have him as one of our speakers to help us transition in the new normal in conducting team meetings and strengthening group connections. So without further ado, let's all welcome Segundo Bray Abrea Jr. Let's give him a virtual round of applause.
Maayong hapon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Bray, we can hear you.
Okay, maayong hapon and good afternoon para sa mga outside Cebu. Check lang, can you all see your chat box? If you can, if you can use the chat box, can you please type in ano lang, roll call lang natin, roll call, okay? So what I need you to do to write on your chat box is three important information. Pero before you press enter, make sure that you wait for my go signal, okay? So the first thing that you need to type would be your feeling. Siguro one word lang. It could be a Bisaya or English or Tagalog. Just type in how you're feeling right now. Saturday afternoon or the end of the week or the start of the month. So wala lang. Don't press enter yet. Just type in lang how you're feeling right now. And then after the feeling, you type in where you are. Okay. Again, don't press enter yet. Just type in the three important information that I need you to input. Feeling, followed by the barangay or the province where you're from. If you're from Cebu, just type in the barangay where you're from. And if you are from outside Cebu, maybe you can input your province. And the third information that you would need, that I need you to type would be your comfort food. It could be something that you miss so much, or it could be something that you are now preparing it yourself because of the quarantine, limited movement. So feeling, again, don't don't send it yet. The feeling, where you're from, and then your comfort food. And I'll give you 15 seconds to do that. And when I say go, what I want you to do is press enter para sabay-sabay. Okay? You have 10 more seconds. This is just a very quick way of checking who we have, how many people is in the Zoom session, and at least we would know hanggang saan ba yung reach ng session na to. Okay? Okay. When you're ready, press enter. Okay. So, sino ba dito? Scarlett, can you help me check the responses? I don't think I could see all the responses.
Okay.
Pero I have
So-
a challenge. May challenge ako sa'yo, Scarlett, ha?
Okay,
When
sir.
you read the responses, it has to be in a way as if you're introducing an NBA team. Okay, so awesome, Minglanilla Tocino! Woohoo! So, dapat may energy. Okay, sige.
Okay. Okay. Okay, to begin. Awesome, Minglanilla Cebu, Tocino!
Yay! And everyone, I would like to request everyone to please join in and welcome our participants from Minglanilla. Yay!
Next, this is me. Grateful Kasambagan Siomay sa Tisa.
Yay!
Next, Hopeful Talamban Ramen.
Yay!
Happy Guadalupe Chocolate.
Yay! You can, at this point, I would encourage everyone to unmute their microphones so that we can hear you also with your claps and your yehays and your cheers. Go!
Tired Surigao City Chocolate.
Yay!
Exhausted Laguna Pizza.
Yay!
Anxious Talamban Chips.
Yay!
Pretty Magikay Breakfast. Ay, sana all pretty. Excited
Yay!
Gambaro Fries.
Yay!
Feeling of longing Talamban Dynamite.
Wow, Talamban Dynamite. I see.
Happy Cordova Fries.
Yay!
Motivated Takurong Sultan Kudarat Milk Tea and Pizza.
Yay! With salted caramel.
Yes, with salted caramel pizza, milk tea, and excited Valencia City Bukidnon egg.
Woohoo!
Bless Takurong City Lugao.
Yay!
And Hungry Macdo Fries and Caramel Sundae.
Yay! Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Salamat. Thank you, Scarlett, for
Welcome,
assisting
sir.
us with as we welcome all our participants. And at this point, I would have wanted to do some activities wherein we could have the chance to mingle with everyone. Pero I think we had the challenge with regards to the ano ba yun? Breakout rooms. So something didn't go well as expected. So it's okay. We're not gonna do the breakout rooms. But for now, what I want you to do is on your chat group, imagine I would give you a chance to do the poll, no? Okay. I understand that this is not your first time, okay, to attend or to join or to lead a virtual session. So, approximate lang, how many virtual or online sessions have you attended or led or facilitated? Okay, so approximate, are you between 0 to 0 to 10, or are you between 11 to 50, or are you between 51 to 100? And what I want you to do is, yun lang, type it on the chat box. At least you have an idea of kumusta na, how much you've been facing your computer screens for the past few months because of this quarantine. Okay, once you have your answers, put it in. And while you're doing that, let me introduce myself. My name is Bray, and I'm from Cebu. And being a Cebuano, you should maybe have an idea already na kaming mga taga Cebu, pag nagtagalog, nosebleed. Nahirapan talaga kami sa tumang kalisod. So I will try to do my best to mix Tagalog, English, and maybe a little bit of Bisaya so that you can also get to know more about our language. And if there's anything that I say and you don't clearly understand, feel free to smile. Okay? And if you have questions, i-private message nyo na lang si Scarlett or si Miss Angelu. Yeah. O kaya si Kuya Tupe. Tama ba? Tama ko bang pag-pronounce, ma'am? Kuya Tupe, no?
Yes, Kuya
Yes.
Tope.
Kuya Tupe. Okay. So we have most of you here, yung frequency nyo, involvement. Hindi ko na nilagay dito ha kung ano yung level of engagement mo, whether it's as a participant, as a facilitator, or as just technical crew backstage. So we have people whose experience is between 15 to 20. And we have people between 120 to 150. Meron ba itong above 150? Meron ba? Itong 120 to 150, saan kaya to? Is this, ano ba to, Sir Milo? Itong 120 to 150 ba nasa 121 to 125 or nasa 149 to 150?
Papuntang 150 na kay average meeting is 2 to 3 days sa City Hall ng Mandawi.
Okay. So actively involved as parang this is part of your weekly and daily responsibilities.
Yes.
Okay.
In the office.
So now,
Responsibilities.
thank you so much. Let me check. Thalia, can we anyway, sige na. Let's continue this using just Zoom, no? We have 15 to 20, a lot of 15 to 30, 51 to 100, 30 to 50. One word. Okay. One word lang to describe a general description of your experience. This time, focusing on you leading or facilitating online sessions. If there's one word that could generally describe your experience facilitating or leading these online sessions, what would that word be? I want you to type it down and press enter. At least lang we'll have a peep of how it is. So different, of course. I don't know what you mean by different. But for me, I would say, indeed, I would agree, different. Each experience is different. Even if how much I try the same module, even if I'm handling group dynamics class in USC psychology, and even if I'm doing the same set of flow for all of my classes, it's really different. Why? Because interactions vary, and the quality and the level of engagement on the participants will differ so much from one class to another. not to mention the mood of the people. If it's a 7:30 a.m. on a Monday class or a Thursday afternoon, that's 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. It will really matter. So don't worry, we'll get to know more or discuss more about that later on. Interesting, strange. Bakit strange? Do you want to um, qualify and substantiate your word? If dili ready, okay lang din, walang problema.
I think that's from me. Ako ra ba ang ningunog strange?
O sige, wala problema. Sige, go ahead. Okay.
Anyways.
Don't worry, there's only 30 of us in this session, so let's make this intimate. Unless if this is, wait, live on Facebook. Yo, what's
Yes.
up? Facebook Keeps. Okay.
Yes, it's strange for me because I'm used to having interactions physically. So this is very new to me and I think to everyone. So it feels really strange conducting meetings like this. Nga dili ta maka-touch sa each other.
Basig lahi ng touch imo ma'am ha. Okay. So indeed, I would agree and we will talk more about strange. It's as a graduate, as an advocate of experiential education, for those of my students who are watching right now on Facebook Live or here in our Zoom session, my students know that even if I'm handling a class in supposedly four-wall classroom in the university, I actually am not comfortable limited on a four-wall classroom. I bring them outside, and that's why I have an outdoor classroom. Several times I've been marked absent because walang tao sa classroom ko, and it's more of interaction. It's not that I don't believe in books, but later on I'll tell you more about why experience is more churva than reading and memorizing books. Okay. And now it's strange because I'm doing all in front of a camera, and you can try this. Most of you right now are actually staring at me, looking at my face on your screen. Okay. But while you are looking at me on your screen, you are not looking at the camera. And if I'm doing what you're doing right now, it's gonna be like this. Okay, if I will be looking at all your faces, this is how I will look like on your screen. And it's weird. Walang connect. Okay? So now, yes, we are supposed to have face-to-face contact, but I'm now having a face-to-screen contact. Okay? In order for me to really connect with my participants or my students or my members in the organization, when I'm doing online meeting, I should not be looking at their eyes. I should be looking at my camera like this. Mas connect siya. Diba? Strange. Kasi we're not used to it. Diba? So what I do to make things easier for me is yung faces nyo naka-minimize, and I move it around so that whoever is talking, I will be looking at their faces and I drag their face nearer to the camera. Parang it will appear as if I'm looking at the camera, although I'm really looking at their faces. Strange, weird. Okay, what's this? Makakulba. Anong makakulba man? Ano ba yung Tagalog sa makakulba?
Nakakaba.
Nakakamba.
Kakaba.
Nakakaba. Okay. Again, because we are not used to this. And very simple. Compared with face-to-face interaction, since this is new, yun nga, we've heard so many times the term new normal, whether we like it or not, this is new. And whether we like it or not, whether you admit it or not, this will be the new norm. Okay? Because if you keep on doing things that you've always done before COVID, okay, you will always get what you've always got just like before. But now, limited ang meetings, limited ang movement. If you keep on doing the same thing the way you did your meetings before in Rotary, dili pwede. Madakpan man mo. Okay? So you have to change. Sometimes we change because we are proactive. We prepare. What if change would come? But at this point, we have no choice. We have to change by crisis. It's already here. Whether we like it or not, we have to be able to adopt and adapt to the sudden change that's happening to us or in us and around us. If you are not able to adopt and adapt to this changing, dynamically changing environment, guess you know what's gonna happen? You will soon be run over. Okay? If you don't adapt to the changes, and you just wait until things go back to what it used to be before, wala. It would take you months, days, weeks, lost. Sayang. Okay, moving on. Words, proactive, challenging. It's a struggle. Pressured, unpredictable because of sudden loss of connection. Yes, audio or video. Pressured. And, okay. Whew, grabe, no? So, at this point, let me share with you. Can you see the slide now? Okay. Sige. On the slide, you will see. I don't see my slide. Wait for a while. But can you see my slides?
Yes. Yes.
Sige. On this slide, Zoom Connect. Welcome to this session entitled Zoom Connect. It's a very challenging session that we're having, and mas challenging pa to kasi we only have until anong time ba tayo, Ejelu? 4:35, 5:30?
Yes. 5 is the latest.
5 ang latest.
Yes.
Okay. So let's try to find a way to make this fit until 5. I'm not gonna talk so much about other topics para straight na tayo with regards to why we're doing what we're doing here. So first of all, the reason. Next slide. The reason why we are doing this session now is merely because of COVID. It's merely because of SARS-CoV. Kung wa lang gid mo nangaon atong kwaknit, wa, party unta taron. There's a lot of people posting pictures. Wala, hanggang throwback lang talaga. Why? Kasi, yun nga, kaon man mo kwaknit. So, it's because of SARS-CoV-2 and because of COVID. Wait, ano ba itong SARS-CoV-2 and what is COVID? Pwede ako sa ang mag screen share kadali. Okay. I want to do a game for a while. Are you ready for a challenge?
Yes.
Okay. Done. Nakita na?
Wala pa.
Wala pa, Bray.
Okay. Are you familiar with Kahoot?
Yes.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. For those of you who are familiar with Kahoot, what I want you to do is Share screen. What I want you to do is participate in Kahoot. Okay. For those who are new to Kahoot, very simple. All you have to do is minimize your browser, or if you have another gadget, use another gadget and go to www.kahoot.it. Okay. Once you're there, all you have to do is enter the game pin 538064. After you enter the game pin 538064, it will ask you to enter your name, your nickname. Okay. So Kahoot is simply para bang imagine that you are in a game show. Quiz bowl. Okay. And it's important that while you have your other window or minimized window screen or gadget with your Kahoot game, make sure that you also see the screen on the Zoom. Why? Because sa Zoom screen, you will see the question and the options. But you will tap or click your answer on that screen sa kahoot.it. Okay? For every answer that you for every correct answer that you get, you will earn points. Okay? However, let's say for example, everyone gets a correct answer sa number 1. It does not mean that everyone gets equal points. Kasi, even if you all get correct answer, the first one to get the correct answer gets more points than those who got the correct answer a little later. And whoever gets the most number of points in this session will receive a prize from saan ba? From
Iwaw na po sa Mysteria.
From Talamban ba? Or from Mandawi or from Lason? May matanggap daw na ube cheese disal. Courtesy of Scarlett.
From Nature Spring Water.
Also, syempre pantulak, Nature Spring Water. Bring your own bottle.
1 box of Nature Spring Water.
Okay. So far, we have 17 participants. Are we okay with these 17? Are we good to go? Or are we waiting for everyone else? Or maybe yung iba, medyo challenging yung internet connection kasi umuulan.
Yes, challenging.
Hindi pa tapos yung US-Asia grid na inayos. Or hinintay pa na magkaroon ng dito sa barangay nila. Okay. To save time, anyway, this is just an example. Although, for those of you who are watching on Facebook, you can still join. All you have to do is go to kahoot.it, enter 538064, and key in your name. And then we'll give you 10 more seconds. And after that, we will begin. Ano lang, pampainit ng dugo in this rainy Saturday afternoon. Okay, let us begin. So once again, on your Zoom screen, that's where you will see the questions and the options. On your Zoom, on your Kahoot screen, that's where you will click or tap for your corresponding answer. You can't see your answer on your Kahoot screen. You can only see 4 different colors. itatap nyo yung color corresponding sa answer on the Zoom screen. Let's begin. Fun Friday. Saturday na. Okay. Quiz. The mental health law is also known as, ano ba yung mental health law? Republic Act 8044? Republic Act 7610? Republic Act 9208? Or Republic Act 11036? Yung mga advocates nito, di pwedeng magkamali ha. And the correct answer is Republic Act 11036. Okay, let's give these 13 people a round of applause. Okay. This is an example of what you can do in your sessions or in your meetings or even in your chapter orientations for your new members. Why? I can give you new information that, let's say for example, that the mental health law in the Philippines was actually enacted into law and signed into law in 2018, and it was Republic Act 11036. Okay? Some of them may not get the correct answer, but by talking more about it, it doesn't matter. Does that make sense? Meaning, when you do your orientation with your participants or your new members, it doesn't have to be this all-time boring PowerPoint stuff na you always do. Make it interesting. Make it engaging. Make it heart-pumping. Does that make sense? Now, sa options, I also included 8044, 7610, and 9208. I could just move on to the next question, or I could actually also talk more about these three other options. Republic 8044 is not the mental health law. That is the Youth in Nation Building Act. Yan yung nagpatayo ng National Youth Commission. Okay? Now you learn something new. Now you get reminded if you know this already. 7610 is the rights of the children. This protects the children. The right to name, the right to good education, the right to have a home and whatever, all those stuff. 9208 is the Republic Act that protects the rights of the women and children against trafficking. So if you have advocacies with regards to other concerns, Kahoot is simply a game that you can play with your friends and family, but it could also be a tool for your advocacies. Does that make sense? Okay. Plus, if you win this whole set of game, you will receive a box of Ubi cheese disal courtesy of wala
Pwede,
na.
pwede.
Okay, very good. So, sa man ma'am, ang top 3 ang makadawat or ang top 1 lang?
Ang top 1 lang.
Ang top 1 lang.
Good, ma-challenge good.
Okay, top 1 unya. Ang top 2 kay Nature Spring Tubig, gikan ni Angelo.
Flavored water.
Flavored water. Let's
Sige,
continue.
go.
Okay, so now you can see the standing. All these 5 people got the same correct answer, but it's just a matter of siguro split second. Nag-differ na yung scores nila. Okay? So you still have a chance to catch up. 2. In what year was Zoom launched? A lot of you have been using Zoom sessions in your meeting, in your classes, but the question is, alam niyo ba kung kailan na-launch yung Zoom?
2011.
Aba, may ano pa, may cheat pa may nagsabi. Yung iba nag Google. Okay. Here, ang daming nagsabi ng 2011. Pero yung correct answer is 2013. Tricky question. 2011, you were right. Zoom was developed in 2011, but it was only 2 years later when it was launched. So it's a matter of, let's continue. Because this whole 15 question quiz is just a sample for you to experience na there's another way of presenting information rather than just the normal verbal or the normal PowerPoint presentation that we always did. In what region is Mayon volcano located? Sige nga. How well we know our geography? Okay. May special note akong dumating while we're doing this. May nagpadala ng love note. Good morning. Can I play? Ayan. Kakagising lang po ng daughter ko. Gusto niyang maglaro din sa laptop. Okay, go ahead. May protocol na kami. If I'm in a meeting, write it down. Correct answer is Albay. Kung the question was in what province? However, the question is in what region? Of course, it's Bicol region. Albay is just a province in the Bicol region, di ba? Sometimes we get so hyped up dahil hindi na natin, alam natin Albay, pag Mayon volcano, Albay. But the question is, what region? Hindi what province. And sometimes, as organizations, we almost have this tendency to go to stick with habits. Alam na natin, grabe yung connection, grabe yung association with Albay. And sometimes, it's also like that. Di ba? Gets? Like for example, if I think of polio in the Philippines, I will always think of Rotary Club. If I think of blood bank, I would always think of Red Cross. Although there are always other institutions, di ba? Anyway, let's go ahead. Aba, si Jinst umakyat. In the game of chess, yung queen is a combination sa movement ng which two pieces?
Laban-laban sa mga chess player dyan.
Oh, yun daw. Yung mga chess players dyan. Yung mga hindi chess players, hanggang cheeskers lang talaga kami. Okay, so yun. The correct answer is the bishop and the rook. The bishop is the one that moves straight, vertical, horizontal. The rook is yung diagonal.
Yung sabi ko, ano ba naman?
Ano daw? Okay. Let's continue. Wow. 3 people. Up 7 places. Si Press George being the highest climber. Grabe. What was Google's original name? Pag Cebuano ka, Google. Pag nasa Tagalog na Google. Bakit ganun? Ano bang explanation yan, Scarlett?
Sound man, sir.
Pag nasa Cebu, Google. Pag nasa Manila, nagiging Google.
Accent.
Yung accent. Tapos, nagkabukol at saka nagkabukel. Okay. If you check it on Google, it's actually back crab. Although Search Me would have sounded better, pero wala. It's the original name. Fast forward tayo so that we can get into the input proper na. Which Philippine president died in a plane crash? So clue na lang, no? This Philippine president died in a plane crash, and the plane crashed in a town in Cebu. It's in Balamban. It's in Mount Manungal. And the name of the plane that he was on was Mount Pinatubo. Mount Pinatubo name crashed in Mount Manungal in Balamban. And it was Ramon Magsaysay. Okay. Ba? Daming umakyat. Jonah, 3 places up. What is the name of the 4th book in the Harry Potter series? Sige nga. Yung mga Harry Potter fans dyan. Yung Harry Potter series, yung nabasa ko lang was the 1st book. Then I watched the movie. Then I started the 2nd book. Hanggang started lang. The end na kaagad. Hanggang dun lang talaga yung series ko. Okay, so the correct answer is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And if you notice it, yung red, blue, yellow, green, that's actually book 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, ang dami palang Harry Potter fan dito, no? Or marami dito yung mabilis mag-Google. It's okay. Walang problema. Aba, Angel. Angel, is this you, Angelo, or is this another Angel?
Uy, it's me.
It's you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wave.
Paspas Google on.
What is the name of the virus responsible for the current global pandemic? Sige nga, anong tawag sa virus that's responsible for this global current global pandemic that's keeping you at home? Yung iba, LDR, kahit nasa kabilang barangay lang. Yung iba, wala. LDR since birth. Okay. Look at this. Very interesting data. Because a lot of us really think that the virus is COVID-19. But the correct answer is, dugdug, kilat, on the mix. Grabe. So the correct answer is, we are talking about the virus. The name of the virus is SARS-CoV-2. COVID is the disease. The cause of the disease is the virus. The name of the virus is SARS-CoV-2. Unfortunately, people tend to interchangeably use these two terms, and sometimes we get to be misled, and sometimes we get confused. Ano ba talaga? Which one is the virus? Which one is the disease? So hopefully now alam nyo na the virus is SARS-CoV-2, COVID is the disease. Ayan. Si Kuya Raymond umakyat. Saka si Shannon. What is the longest river in the Philippines? Is it Mindanao River? Is it Agusan River? Is it Cagayan River? Or is it Lobok River with Tarsier on the end? Waiting. Okay, with free lunch, buffet, floating restaurant. And the correct answer is, according to Google, it's Cagayan River. Yehey! Aba, umakyat si Junst. 15. What is the age range for youth? Siyempre, when you go to another country, iba yung classification nila, age range ng youth. Sa United Nations, iba yung classification, age range ng youth. But in Philippines, as stated sa Republic Act 8044, ano ba yung age range ng youth? Yung question, are you still part of the category? Ako, I'm still part. Confidently beautiful. So the correct answer is 15 to 30. Okay? 15 to 30. So if you're 26 years old, you're still part of the youth classification in the Philippines. If you are in China, kahit 44 ka na, you're still part of youth kasi hanggang 45 yata ang youth. Okay, aba, umakyat si Raymond. Number 11. As of October 2, yesterday, what is the number of total cases as published on the official DOH COVID-19 updates page? Sige nga. As of yesterday ha, as of yesterday.
Hindi na kasi
Ilan?
kami nanonood ng balita, sir, kasi nakakanega.
O ako rin, hindi na ako nanonood ng balita, pero I had to update this question kasi nasa slide ko eh. Nasa game para I can give you the correct answer. Okay. So as of yesterday, according to DOH's COVID updates page, it's 316,678. Sad, masakit, pero laban lang. Okay? So this gives us more reason to be of service to the community. Okay? Ito ito lang yung mga accounted for. Hindi pa dito kasali yung mga hindi na dala ng hospital or hindi na test. Aba, Shannon. Palaban. Okay. We're on a third to the last. What is the oldest street in the Philippines? Is it Remedios Street, Mandawi City? Yeah, si Remedios yung number 1 all-time crush ni Angelo. Freud Street, Talisay City. Colon Street, Cebu City, or Frankel Street, Consolacion. Oldest street. And the correct answer is Colon Street, Cebu City. Unfortunately, yesterday there was not really a big fire, but yun nga, fire incident sa Colon near Gaisano Metro.
Atbang.
Ang Atbang sa Gaisano Metro, ang katong salon. Ang salon. Okay, aba. Raymond, 9 correct answers. What does VGA stand for? Ito, issue to sa sa klase. Reporting, hindi nagdala ng cord. Nagborrow sa department. Hindi alam kung ano yung VGA. Iniwan yung ID. Pagbalik, ibang ID kinuha.
The best yung yellow na answer. The best yung yellow na answer.
Yellow daw yung answer. Bega, gikawat na pod ang wire. Okay. Second to the last. Sige nga. Birthday ni Jose Rizal. Kailan ba yung birthday ni Jose Rizal? Patay. Ha?
Pink.
Pink ba?
Pink po.
Pink. Okay. 30 December 1896.
Ay, wala.
Yan. Walay na ilad. Okay. So it's June 19, 1861. Yung nagsabi na December 30, yes, yun po yung Rizal Day. Pero it was Rizal Day not because birthday niya, kundi that was the day kung kailan siya in-execute. Saan ba binaril si Rizal?
Bayan.
Ako, cemetery?
Sa likod.
Bagumbayan.
Okay. Sa likod po. Sa likod po binaril si Rizal. Okay. Joke. Okay, next. Okay, Kath is back in the game. 3 correct answers in a row. Yay! And the last question, what is the oldest school in the Philippines? Ano daw yung oldest school in the Philippines? Pag
Yes.
nag-Google kayo ngayon, you have to read it up to the end. Don't just read the first few paragraph kasi ano yan, controversial yan na claim. And the correct answer is University of
correct.
San Carlos. Woohoo! Although if you Google it, you will see it's University of Santo Tomas
UST.
because, yun nga, mas una silang University of Santo Tomas following the same name. But let's all remember that University of San Carlos started as Colegio del San Alfonso in 15 Churva. I remember back in 1995, we were celebrating USA 400 years as a school. However, it was just the 50th year as a university. So late na naging university yung San Carlos, but it was already a school before it was a university. Okay. So ngayon, let's check kung sino yung makakatanggap ng one box of, ano yun? Ube. Paano yan, Scarlett, kung taga Kidapawan yung mananalo? Ha? Ipadala na lang via attachment.
Convert to load.
Ano, Sir Kuya Tupe?
Lalamove daw.
Lalamove hanggang Kidapawan. Okay, so let's see. Third.
Wow.
PJ Perez.
PJ Perez.
Sino itong Jens?
Coloring
lang daw, Mobile Legends.
Skin sa Mobile Legends.
Okay, sino tong yung second, sino si second?
Si Janst.
Janst.
Sino yung si Janst?
Ako po.
Okay, PM na lang kayo ni Madam President para sa prizes nyo. I think top 3 yung bibigyan nyo, ma'am, di ba? Top 3? Or first and second?
PM lang daw ang prize picture.
I-PM lang daw ang prize, ang picture, graduation picture ni Madam President. Okay, let's give ourselves a round of applause. Let's go back to the chat. Let's go to chat. Let's go to chat, and I want you to one word. I want you to describe how was the Kahoot experience. How was the session we had for the last 15 minutes? One word to describe the Kahoot experience. Once you have that one word, just press enter. And let's see what you have there. Okay. 4:13. Okay. Tama nga pala si PJ. Hindi ko nabasa to PJ. Saan binaril? Sa likod. Hindi ko nabasa to, ha? Okay. It was fun. Challenging, informative, challenging, fun, merry-making, amazing, engaging, interactive, mind-draining. The iba ang merry nag-comment sa comment, pambihira, comment, kinoment pa yung comment. So anyway, did you have fun? Did you have fun? Okay, can you unmute yourselves so that I can also see and hear you? Did you have fun? Did you enjoy?
Yep.
Did you learn something?
Yep.
Yes po.
Okay. My question here is simple. Although we just had we had fun and we get to learn something about those just random general information. Do you have in mind how this Kahoot could also be useful as you try to keep your participants or your members engaged in your upcoming sessions. It could be a training or it could be an orientation. Saan niyo po ba ito pwedeng magagamit? Huh? Try to unmute yourselves. If you want to say something.
Especially in online classes, sir. This is useful
Online-
for students.
Online classes, pwede. Okay?
Yes.
Ba't yung nasabing fun? I know some of you mentioned about challenging, stressful yung online sessions na experience you before. But now you said it's fun. What's the difference? How is this different? How was the last 15 minutes different from your previous experience na sabi nyo draining, exhausting, stressful, and nakakaloka? How is this? How was it different?
The questions were random.
The questions were random. What else? What else? Did you have fun?
Yes.
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 In what way? Paano mo nasabi na it was fun? Did you feel the adrenaline rush?
It was challenging because the rankings were shown.
The rankings were shown. The faster you click for the correct answer matters.
The height.
Yes.
The score. And it
Yes.
keeps you tip 2. Diba?
Yes.
That means there are always many other ways to keep your meetings or your lessons or your sessions or your trainings online, to keep them having the adrenaline rush even without you running around, even without you moving from one place to another. Because if I would presume, for the past few minutes, you're just staring at your screen, sitting on that same chair where you are right now. And yet, may excitement, may kaba. And this gives you a sense of adventure. And what is an adventure? Adventure is a pursuit wherein the outcome is not known. Because the outcome is not known, kaya exciting, kaya thrilling. Pag alam nyo na yung outcome, wala nang thrilling. So my suggestion is, keep that thrill in your meetings. Keep that thrill in your sessions. Keep them anticipating, while you, as a facilitator or the trainer, you keep them anticipating, but you keep yourself unpredictable. That's one key component of being an effective facilitator, whether it's a face-to-face or online. Again, let me say this again. As a facilitator, as a teacher, as a trainer, keep yourself unpredictable while you keep your participants anticipating. Baliktad, keep them anticipating. Because if they are not anticipating, wala. They're not looking forward for whatever is to come. They're not excited na. Wala na. Wala. Pag may information bago, okay. Pag wala, okay, wala. Keep them anticipating. Keep them waiting for the next sequel. Diba? Yun nga, abangan ang susunod na kabanata. Diba? That's why you're always waiting for the next. For those of you who are series binge Netflix watching, para bang, okay, one episode na lang, pero that last portion of that previous episode will always keep you hanging and waiting for the next episode. And then the next thing you know, wala. Hindi ka na nakapag-lunch, dinner na. Diba? Pero, while you keep your participants anticipating, you have to keep yourself unpredictable. Kasi pag na-predict ka nila, na'y lami. Kasi alam na nila yung susunod eh. Parang Filipino movies ba? Alam nyo na yung ending. Keep a twist. Okay? So, yun. Ano pa? Informative, challenging, fun, merrymaking. Before I move on, do you have any questions so far? Time check, it's 4:19. Okay? It's 4:19. Hindi pa tayo nakapag-umpisa sa PowerPoint ko. Problema to. Are you learning something so far?
Yes po.
Yes? Okay. Sige. Do you have any question before we move on? Buti pa dito sa Zoom, no? Ang dali mag-move on.
None so far.
Okay. Let's go back to the slide. Yay! Ano yung previous slide? Sige pa. Ay, oo nga, no? Yung previous slide was the reason of why we are stuck at home is very simple. SARS-CoV-2 and COVID. Okay, next. And we know the difference between SARS-CoV-2 and COVID. Next. And it's important na whether we like it or not, I know that we're supposed to be talking about how we can keep our sessions. The title of the session that we have right now is Zoom Connect, strengthening team connections. Pero whether I like it or not, and whether you like it or not, I have to include preserving mental health, because this is one thing that most of organizations and most of teachers, sad to say, are not being parabang mindful, not conscious. I think you've seen some posts on Facebook of students who are doing online classes and complaining because of the so much synchronous and asynchronous tasks and responsibilities that they have to do. And what happens is, wala. Ano ba? What is really the focus? If education is to improve the holistic is talking about the holistic development of a person, tapos we are draining the student so much that affected ang mental health, delikado. So now it's a mental health awareness month. That's why we have to include this. So according to World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life. That means stresses of life is natural. It comes, it goes. Okay? But the challenge is how we are able to cope with it and can work productively, fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. Productive contributor to the society. And sometimes we have this challenge of parabang interchangeably using the term world health, mental health, and wellness. So when you talk about wellness, it's according to the Global Wellness Institute, it's the active pursuit of activities, choices, and lifestyles that lead to a state of holistic health. So on the next slide, you can see na when you talk about wellness, we have these 8 dimensions. In some sources, in some links, in some books, in some materials, they will tell you that there are 6 dimensions of mental health or well-being. Yung iba naman 10, yung iba 12. The most number that I see is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 12, maximum 12, minimum of 6. So some of these are being clustered na. So we have the social, physical, emotional, occupational, spiritual, intellectual, environmental, financial. I don't have to discuss each of these components and these dimensions so that we can move on. Pero at least we are aware na because of COVID, we are stuck in our homes. We are stuck in this limited space. Yung movement natin is limited, and whether we like it or not, it's no longer the same as we used to experience, diba? So it's important that we also cater and make sure that our well-being is also taken care of. Mental health is as important as medical health. I don't have to emphasize that so much because there are other sessions that you can talk more about this. Okay. On the next slide, okay. Dili na lang ta mag-menti na lang. Dili na ta mag-menti. Kuan na lang ta. Talking about what we're doing. So I know that you are leading organizations. You are leading the chapter. How do you call your chapters? Districts? Is that districts?
Yes, districts.
So si ikaw Angelo, you are leading a district.
Rotaract Club sa isa ka district. So daghan og Rotaract Club sa isa ka district.
So this in Cebu alone, how many districts?
Cebu is part of District 3860. So Visayas and Mindanao appeal sa 3860. The rest kay another district. So daghan siya.
And then in Cebu, iba pa yung mga schools. It's under the same district, pero student level.
Yes,
Student.
university chapter.
Okay. So I understand that you are leading different clubs, different organizations, and outside Rotary, knowing that Rotary Club is, the way I know it, is civic service organization and also leadership organization, right? Sakto ba? Tama ba? The first time I've heard of Rotary Club was when I was in first year college. Okay, so when I was in first year college, my best friend, when we finished high school, my best friend had to leave the country kasi she was sent to Iowa as a Rotary Club exchange student in US. So she was studying in US in Iowa. So kuyawa din ng Rotary, no? Pero wala ko na appeal ato kay mga mga bright. And then the last interaction I had with Rotary group was when I was in Indiana last year in 2019. Yeah, last year I was handling the one district in Indiana. So the Rotary group, ano ba yun? Is it the Rotary Club? Rotary group? The adult group. O ano ba yun? The club.
Club, yes.
Okay, so the club has this program, adventure-based program with their youth. So the students, they have the RYLA, Rotary Youth Leadership
Awards.
And for them, it was also an academy. So it was so they stayed in the camp for 5 days, and we have zip line, wall climbing, rock climbing, kayaking, canoeing, and we also included sessions about leadership. But of course, we're using experiential education. So here, I know that aside from Rotary, you are also some of you may also be actively involved with church-based organizations, community-based organizations, and it's important that when you lead meetings and when you lead trainings online, it's important that you make sure that you keep a safe space, not just for you, but also for your participants. Okay? So how do you keep a safe space, and why do we need to provide a safe space for our participants, for our members, for our fellow leaders? I guess it's klaro na. It is only when I feel safe in a space, then I would be able to contribute well in the organization. Okay? Same with friendship, same with relationship. If I don't feel safe with you, I may not feel free in sharing my secrets. Okay? In friendship, in relationship, in clubs, notice this. when you were just new in Rotary Club, for sure, either you have a friend that you dragged with you or a friend who dragged you in joining Rotary, or it's possible that when you went to the Rotary orientation, you were alone. So it's either you were with somebody or you were alone. And whether you like it or not, you will always have that first time interaction with other people. Does that make sense? And you will only feel na it's okay to interact and to share more about yourself with somebody if you feel safe with them. It's normal. So it's important that if you want to keep your members, okay? If you want to keep your members, especially in this time of pandemic, make sure that they feel that Rotary is a safe haven for them. Does that make sense? Make them feel na when we gather together for this online meeting, it's not always, okay, nagawa niyo na ba yung trabaho mo? Okay, teka, late ka na naman. What is important is that you connect. Okay? Later on, I'll tell you more about connection before content. But now we are just establishing that it's important that we provide a safe space for an individual to sustain in an organization. If I don't feel safe in that organization, either I'll find another organization or I'll go back to my organization-less life. Okay? For most of you who have been actively involved with Rotary for the past few years, for sure, there is that one reason that keeps you in the group or in the team despite all those troubles that you have experienced. Try to think about it. Siguro it could be the crush that keeps you, motivating you, attend meeting kasi nasi crush. Okay? Or, what was your purpose of joining? I want to help others. I want to learn. I want to develop my skills. Does that make sense? It's what's keeping me safe. But the moment I don't find this anymore in the club, no, I'll find another club that could provide me that. Does that make sense? But now we are not talking about clubs and organization. We are talking about how you should do your online meetings so that they will feel safe on your online sessions and trainings and the virtual activities. So number one, in order for you to provide safe environment and a safe space for them, number one, security. It's easy for us to give links to people. It's easy for us to, okay, just click this link or copy this link, or I posted a link on my on our email. I posted a link on what's this? On the Facebook page, on our Facebook page, or on my Facebook page. Okay, but the problem is somebody linked the click, which is supposed to be for your own group only, pero yung gamit niya internet cafe. Hindi nag-log out. Somebody is able to make mess with all the things. I'm not a technology internet guy, but based on what I've heard and learned with so much sessions that I've attended, privacy settings, delikado. We have to make sure that we are safe. How? Di ba? Sabi natin, people in other countries, especially in US and Canada, they are so worried and they are so, para bang, yung iba nga, ano na, parang they feel so unsafe with regards to online information because of what is identity theft. And it's not only about what's this? It's not only about bank accounts, but it's all about everything of who you are. Now, Security. Number one, check the privacy setting on your devices. When you open private links or URLs while using Wi-Fi on a friend's house, or when you are using internet cafe, or when you are using Wi-Fi sa Starbucks, or when you are using free SM 1 hour Wi-Fi, or when you are somewhere else, how safe are these connections? The next thing you know, somebody could get information from your gadget. If they really intend to do that, somebody could get information from your gadget that includes photos and bank accounts or any other supposedly private information. Next, it's ironic because sometimes we are so careful with regards to privacy settings of our devices, pero the information that you are posting online tells us otherwise. Kasi lantaran nyo na. Alam ng everyone, if I check on someone's Facebook, I would know that where he is studying and what's his ID number, plate number ng sasakyan. Sometimes we say that we are careful with our devices, but we are not careful with what we post. Does that make sense? So, security does not only mean safe ba with viruses ang gadget mo. Safe nga. Safe nga yung internet connection mo. Walang nakakahack. Pero you're giving everything. Who you are, how many kids you have, where you're working. And sometimes nga, SSS number kasi na-include sa picture ng whatever. So it's dangerous. And important, think before you click. Kung before it's think before you speak, now it's think before you click. The moment you click it, it's there. It's online. And it may take ages in order for you to really take that out. Sometimes we delete something, but it's already there. May footprint ka na, may thumb mark ka na. Okay? And some of us, who among you here, sige nga, who among you here, in order for you to remember your passwords in some websites that you have registered, you send your PIN number or email to and password to your email. If I'm really somebody who is really interested in getting in phishing information from you, I could do that. How? By getting through your email. This gives. I have an example. When I was in 2018, have you tried getting a new SIM card? It's supposedly brand new SIM card, new number. And after a few days, you get a text message from somebody. Get it? Kasi pala, yung new SIM card mo was a number that somebody used to own like 6 months earlier. And that's what happened to me. When I got a new SIM card in 2018 back in US, I suddenly got text message stating that I have to click the particular link in order for me to verify that it's me opening the Facebook account. O syempre, I click the link. Kasi it was my number eh. But it turned out that it was actually the Facebook of somebody who used to own that number. That means if you change your number, make sure if you are logged or you registered your email or other Yahoo account, Gmail account, Facebook account to that old number, make sure that you update your number. Because when I check it, it seemed, when I clicked the link, it seemed that I opened the Facebook account of that particular person. Does that make sense? Kasi Facebook thought that me being the owner of the number and them verifying it that it was me, they thought that it's still the same old person. So when I checked it and look at the pictures, then I realized that the previous owner of that AT&T SIM number that I was using in 2018 was somebody between 25 to 30 of age woman in Illinois. And I checked her the Facebook page, like, oh, she just graduated in college. And here, may kachat pa siya na problema pa siya with regards sa college fund niya and so on and so forth. So what I did, I just logged out and at first I thought of informing the person, but now additional lang a mess. Again, taking a critical view of information posted online. Because no matter how safe your connection is, delikado pa rin if you voluntarily post it on your Facebook, Twitter, and all other stuff. So suggestion, if you want your data, if you want to be known, if you want your number available online because it's part of your business so that people can and customers can call you and your members can contact you, make sure you have maybe another way of delineating which one is for the business and which one is for the private, which is supposedly private. Secure. Okay? So number one, in order for you to provide a safe space for your participants and your audience is number one, security. Do you have any question? Time check, it's 4:41. Question?
None so far.
None so far. Yay. Okay. Let's proceed to the next important component in order for us to provide a safe space for our participants or our audience. Okay. Whether you like it or not, as a trainer, as a facilitator, as the leader of the organization, you are the one leading the team. You are the one leading or doing the training. It is important that you make sure that ikaw keep all these physical health and nutrition bullets that you need to consider. Why? Your audience will really notice if you are not healthy at that time kasi wala kang tulog the previous night kasi yun nga, yung LDR mo nasa kabilang time zone and you had to keep in touch, or you have another business to do online. So when you talk about physical health and nutrition, it's not only about yourself, but also with your participants. Don't set a meeting that's gonna last very long. Okay? If it's gonna last for like 3 hours or more, make sure that you have in between, break time. Okay? A time to rest, a time to stand up, and not just limited on that 3 feet by 3 feet space where you are facing your monitor screen. If you have a session the following day, remind your participants, remind your audience na it's gonna be a 7:30 to 10:30 session. Make sure that you get enough sleep, and hindi naman siguro okay na ikaw as a leader, the head of the organization goes to the meeting and para bang, oh, okay, I'm ready. And yet, yung eye bags mo hanggang 3rd floor, di ba? So, importante yan. So, it's important to take breaks and movements. Okay. So, talking about breaks and movements, okay. Let's stop for a while the screen sharing so that I can see everyone. Okay. Can we request everyone to turn on your cameras? Sige nga, turn on your camera. Yehey. Is CB Milo the Milo the Pokemon Go?
Yes, it's me. Small world.
Ayun nga. Ikaw pala yan.
Yeah, it's been
Ang
here.
dami ko ng gold, ang dami ko ng coins sa Pokemon Go. Ano lang talaga, still haven't got a chance to continue catching them all. Anyway, turn on your cameras. Nice to see you again, Milo. Okay, turn on your cameras. Okay, di ba? Turn on your cameras. Yung iba, walang camera. Walang camera yung iba. Or not yet ready. Biglang na surprise. Okay. So what we're going to do now is everybody stretch. Stretch. Okay, stretch to the side. Stretch to the side. Okay. Okay. If you notice, dalawa pa lang yung makakatanggap ng premyo. We still have one more prize para tatlo talaga makatanggap ng prize. Okay. The first, supposedly it's bring me, but you cannot bring it to me, man. So all you have to do is show us. Para bang ano ba 'yun ang tawag nito, yung sa Cebu Pacific, di ba? Show us. Okay. Sige. May group chat ba kayo or wala? Wala? But we have a can you send a pic? Pwede bang mag-send ng picture dito sa group chat? Sa chat sa Zoom or pwede? Is that capable? Pwede ba yan o hindi?
Pwede.
Pwede?
Pwede.
Pwede. Sige. Okay. What I Pwede ba? I'm not sure. I'm not really sure.
There's an attached file at the chat button sa Obos.
Pwede.
Pwede. Ganito na lang. Kung pwede.
Wala sa phone.
Ito na lang. Ganito na lang. If pwede.
Wala po sa phone.
Ganito. You all have your phone right now, right? What I want you to do is, either bring your phone, take a picture of yourself, and then show it in front of the camera that you're using right now, or bring your phone, go to where you think you could find this item, and take a selfie. Okay. Selfie mo with an indoor plant. Go. Indoor plant. Go ahead. Yung unang makapakita ng selfie niya with an indoor plant will earn a point. Ayan.
O daon indoor plant sila ako sa backdoor.
Aban, nauna na si may nag-send na ba?
Si Kathleen.
Oy, si Kathleen yung nauna. Yehey! Download. Tignan natin yung picture ni... Saan ba yung makita? Open file.
Nasa sa room.
Bakit Rotary People of Action t-shirt to?
Sample ganina.
Ay, kanina pa pala. Hindi to not the one. Okay, so may nag-send na ba?
May naghawak-hawak na po.
Hawak ka.
Ay, hinawak. Okay. Si Kathleen, naka 1 point na. So, the first person to get 3 points, ha? The first person to get 3 points will earn yung premyo from Ejelu and Scarlett. Second category. Okay. Show us. Either you wearing a school PE uniform shirt or PE uniform pants? Go!
Wala naman, mega school.
Oh, yung PE uniform ng kapatid mo, yung PE uniform na dating PE uniform mo. You have to wear it.
20 lang nakatabalay.
Go Kathleen, go.
Kung
Ay, si Milo sabi niya unfair daw kasi 20 years ago na siya nag-graduate.
And I'm not in the house, I'm in the McDo.
Oy,
Ganun na po.
yan. Una si, ano to, RVMCC.
CC, yes.
Yehey. So, 1 point na rin si RVMCC.
Oo na daw.
O si Kathleen. Okay, yehey. Next. What you need to do right now is show me a Kopiko sachet. Kopiko sachet. Sachet ng Kopiko.
Wala, PJ, PJ.
Whether may laman.
Meron na
Hindi,
po.
hindi pwede
PJ,
kape.
PJ.
1 point.
2 point PJ.
Sino na una?
Si PJ.
Kopi ko.
Tagapi si PJ.
Sino na una?
Si PJ.
PJ.
Raise your copy page there.
Saan? Hindi ko nakita. Saan ba si PJ?
Tara.
Raise your hand, PJ.
Present.
Ayan.
Automatic.
Okay. Sige. Next category. Okay. Ito, kailangan to ng phone nyo, ha? Kailangan that you have to show your phone. Take a selfie. Background nyo, yung laman ng refrigerator nyo. Go.
Go guys. Arkansi Agnes Cafe.
Oh,
So yung iba nasa internet cafe.
Nami sa
Yes.
cafe.
Oh. Iba kayo may refrigerator yung cafe. Pwede naman yun.
Then, pag-score, Jel, kay para ano.
Sino bang nauna?
Go
Wala.
JN. Score JN.
Ayun, may nag-show na. Sabi yan.
Sino yan? Saan ba? Sige. Parang refrigerator yan yung pinicturan ah. Dapat yung laman ng refrigerator. Selfie niyo.
Wala pa ba?
Go, Jake.
Ako na lang yung mag-picture.
Oh, grabe. Ano? Parang thunderstorm na to. With a chance of meatballs. Meron na ba? Meron na bang nag-send?
Wala yata eh. Ikit mo lang ref, makinig ba?
Wala daw silang ref.
Walang... Okay. So here, hintayin na lang natin mabalik yung iba, no? Baka they're taking a picture. What we're doing right now is, syempre, we have a few people ayan. RMVC, wala na. 2 points na.
Si Bea.
Instead of continuing this game,
Nakat din.
okay,
Wala
2 points
na
na si, what's your name again?
Si Bea.
Bea. So, Bea, you
Si
have
Bea.
now 2 points.
Bea.
Leading ka na. Let's just consider this na ikaw na yung third person nanalo. Let's cut the game so that we'll have more time. So, what are we doing here? If we go back to our slides, it tells us that in order for us to have physical health and nutrition observed, as part of making sure that we have a safe space for our participants and our students and our members during our long meetings, make sure that you involve them in activities that allows them to go out from the 3x3 feet of your session, of your table or your desk. Okay, and here, commit to a tech-free lunch. What does this mean? If you have a long meeting, let's say for example, it's a 3-hour session in the morning and another 3-hour session in the afternoon, or let's say for example, yung break nyo is a meal time, whether it's dinner or snacks or lunch. I encourage you to, when you are having a break, di ba? When you are having a break, I would encourage you to really have a break. That means you are on the screen for the entire morning and for the next few hours in the afternoon. And if during the break, you still hold on to your cell phone para naman nakapag Instagram, Facebook, and all your other social media, can you imagine you are on the screen from sunrise to sunset? If it's a break, make sure that you also have a tech-free break, whether it's dinner or lunch. Does that make sense? Okay lang? So, find a way that you encourage movement. If you need them to play a game in front of the camera, you can always do that. Okay? If we have time later on, for those who want to stay, we can continue this. If not, maybe some of you needs to go at 5. Body awareness and ergonomics. What does this remind you of? Who among you here familiar with regards to ergonomics? Okay, sige nga, Ejilu, what comes to mind when you hear the word ergonomics?
Safety and convenience.
Safety and convenience. Okay. And sometimes, pag sinabing safety and convenience in the industrial world, we always think about helmets, personal protective equipments, eyeglasses, gloves, coats, boots, because these are the things that keeps your participants or your employees safe in the workplace. However, it does not mean that because we're talking about ergonomics and safety in the workplace or during your meeting and your sessions, hindi man kailangan ng helmet, hindi man kailangan ng gloves or eyeglasses or whatever. If you look at the next slide, if you move on to the next slide, it shows here the proper body mechanics. Okay. Look at this page. Your body at work requires you to have a very good body position in order for you to be productive, efficient, and effective in what you are doing. Whether you are facing the computer as a trainer, as a student in an online class, as a teacher, or as a leader leading your organization, it's very important, especially if you're using this for a longer period of time. If siguro for some of you who just wants to check your Facebook in the middle of the night, you can just hold your cell phone while lying down. And some of you might have experienced that. And it will take you, anyway, I'm just scrolling. It's just going to be 5 to 10 minutes. And the next thing you know, you're already doing that for 30 minutes or an hour. And medyo, anong term, yung puy-puy na it's, parang, how do you say that in Tagalog? Yung medyo nagnanumb na yung part of your arm because of the strained position. Diba? Some of you might just be checking your laptop and lying down on your bed, nakahapa. But if you're doing that for the next 30, 45 minutes, that's no longer safe. And if you're doing that for the entire 3-hour session because yung online class mo is 3 hours, it's not safe. And if that's your position for your trainings, that may not give you the optimum performance. And blood flow in your body, that includes bringing in healthy blood with clean oxygen into your brain, is hampered. That means decision making will also be hampered. Does that make sense? Free flowing. So ano ba yung, what is really proper body mechanics and proper position, body awareness, and ergonomics. Look at this. Picture that you see on your screen. It says you have to make yourself comfortable. You might want to compare yourself how you are seated right now with that picture. Dapat nga pala, yung arm mo is not too high or not too low. It has to be aligned. That means, kaya pala yung ibang chair na nabili nyo, may adjustable para pwede mong ma-adjust to lower or to raise a little higher, and make sure that the angle of the camera pala, it has to be eye level, because if the angle of the camera is down, just like you're using your laptop on a center table, what's happening is parang ganun na. And if you tilt the camera, nawala na yung angle, nawala na yung shape ng chin and face mo, and it gives you the angle that would show your second or third chin, and you will end up your participant looking under your nose. That's not nice, and that's not something you want your participants to see. So for more details, you can just Google proper body awareness and body mechanics and ergonomics. Everything is there, okay? And that's just one component for you in providing yourself and your participants, reminding them that this is going to be a bit long session. So I suggest you are comfortably situated on your, desk or your table, okay? Do you have a question so far? Time check, it's 5:01. How many minutes are we okay to extend?
30? 20 to 30?
20 to 30 minutes. Okay, let's move on with the next slide. We already talked about security, okay? In order for us to provide a safe space for our participants, our members, and our organization, make sure it's secure. Physical health and nutrition is also observed. So please, I know of organizations doing one meeting after another and members missing their lunch. Do it every day and you are actually compromising the health of your employees, the health of your members, and the productivity of them as individuals. And in the long run, for whether you like it or not, it will surely affect how they face your clients. Nakuha? Physical health and nutrition. And of course, next is accountability and productivity. As a leader, as an officer, what are you accountable for? How can you be efficient in these areas? Make sure that when you do trainings online or you do meetings online, you are able to deliver what is expected of you and not just go around just like having formal meetings. I understand whether we like it or not, there will always be informal relationship with informal organizations, just as there are ate-ate, kuya-kuya relationship in formal organization. But it's important that we stick to what we are expected to do. Otherwise, we might end up so much, not really unnecessary, but simang discussions with informal meetings. Para bang mas mahaba pa yung other matters kaysa mismong agenda ng meeting. Okay? And I think we already know that before we set the meeting, it is important that everyone knows the agenda of the meeting, so that if they know the agenda of the meeting ahead, they would know what they can contribute during the meeting, and not just know the agenda of the meeting during the meeting. Ay, magre-report pala ako, hindi ko alam yan. Gets? Okay, and sometimes this happens. Okay, can you tell us more about this blah, 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 blah? Ay, ma'am, sorry, hindi ko dala, hindi ko na ano yung file kasi if you know that you're supposed to be reporting on that matter, make sure that you have the data and you have done all the prerequisites. Otherwise, why are we meeting? Okay. Focus and avoid online procrastinations. Follow tech hygienes and manage distractions. Focus, follow tech hygiene, and manage distractions. Now here, if you have an online session, let's say for example, this is, you have a meeting later on 7:30 to, let's say for example, 7:30 to 9 p.m. with all your members. Tell your members that when they attend the 7:30 to 9 p.m. meeting, they are really there attending the meeting. What I'm trying to say is, if you are really doing a meeting, let's say for example, kumuha kayo ng session room dun sa Marco Polo Hotel for your very important monthly meeting. If you are there, you don't want people to be checking their emails and doing Twitter and doing Facebook and nag-Mobile Legends or nanood ng replay ng NBA hoping na nanalo yung ano nila again for the second twice. So you don't want them doing that. In the same manner as if we are doing this online session, I want you to focus on this online meeting. I don't want you to have this other minimized screen on NBA, Mobile Legends, Facebook, and so on and so forth. And this is a personal commitment. Why? Because you as a leader, you will really know, you won't really have any idea what other screens are open in front of them. So it's a personal commitment. So you can just ask them to be committed and avoid distractions. Does that make sense? Follow tech hygiene. When it's time, okay, how do you get yourself and focus and not distracted with all these other notifications sa Facebook during your meeting? Okay, simple. Turn off Facebook. Take off the notification. At home, this is the major challenge because unlike most homes in US, dito sa Pilipinas, we have, at least for us, we have the living room, we have the kitchen, we have yung bedroom. In US, most of them, they would usually have home office. Yung iba nga, meron pang music room, entertainment room. They can do their Zoom session and meetings in their home office. But for us, nasa sala, nasa kitchen. Yung iba, nasa isang iskina lang talaga, right behind the bodega. And sometimes it's not already yung space ba. Anyway, my point is this. Tell them that if you are doing, parang do a delineation. Ito ha, we are in the sala, I am in the sala, but I have a cortina, I have a curtain that would, and a sofa that was moved a little further para alam nila that if I'm on my desk and if I'm in front of my computer, please don't disturb me. And by the way, I have a meeting 7:30 to 9. Please don't disturb me. Does that make sense? You can always tell your family that. Para hindi bitaw in the middle of your meeting, may dumating dito and so on and so forth. So what just happened earlier when we started, my daughter, my 10-year-old daughter knows na if I'm already in a session, no distractions. So she sent me this message. He wrote it down. If she could play. And it's a weekend man, so she can use my laptop. So now she's playing Roblox. Are you playing Roblox or Minecraft? Oh, okay. So nag-Minecraft siya. This is her first week pa lang nag-Minecraft. Okay. Second week na pala. Okay. So very important. It's not only between you and your participants. By avoiding distractions at home, you can also do that. Mahirap if you are in the internet cafe. Kasi let's say for example, you are doing a session, you are in the middle of the session, tapos sabihin, computer number 5, time na, extend. Ayan. So make sure, okay? So avoid this. These are, especially if you have formal meetings, okay? Especially if you are with other big peeps in the organization and you don't want them na thinking na ano lang, gisayon-sayon lang ba. Yeah, that's it. Accountability and productivity. This can be achieved by making sure that you are ready during the meeting and for the meeting, focus and avoid distractions. So far, we already tackled 3 very important components in order for us to provide a safe space for our participants, for ourselves, and for our audience, and for our members. Security, physical health and nutrition, accountability, and productivity. Next slide is activities. Later na, wala na. Skip na lang na siya. Skip na lang na siya nga activity. Okay. Now, very important. I talk about this earlier. I'm gonna talk more about it, focus it on this page. Community connections. Sometimes teachers automatically start class during their online classes. Meetings, they start right away with their agenda because they want to save time, okay? Either they want to save time or they want to save data on their participants or their members. That's why while you still have data and Wi-Fi, okay, let's do this now. The problem is we are not wired to do that. If you remember, when you have meetings, you actually do chit chat outside the session hall before getting inside, right? And sometimes even before you formally start your 4-way test and your bayang magiliw and your prayer, you have your chit chats inside the room. And sometimes this had already been taken out in online sessions. Now, what I want you to do is, yes, we want to be productive in our meetings. We want to go straight right away and be productive with our time. But the problem is we miss the point in connecting person to person. What I want you to do in your meetings is make sure that you say this. Can you please unmute your microphones and say this? Connection before content.
Connection before content.
Again, everyone, unmute yourself. Say this: connection before content.
Connection before
content.
This is not, I'm not talking about internet connection. It's the way you connect from person as the
connection
president.
before content.
Okay, it's between you as an officer to your members, you to your officers, you to your employees, you with everyone else in the in Zoom session or in your online meeting. Why? Because we are wired to connect, because we are relational beings. And if you take that out because you only want the productive and the functional beings in the meeting, that's no longer the whole of the person. Does that make sense? So very important. Yes, we want the content of the meeting, but don't take away the connection. In fact, you connect first in order for you to submit and transmit the content freely. Simple. Have you, may experience ka na ba? Just try to ask yourself, try to think of you working with a project with somebody that you are already close compared with working on a project with somebody who is still a stranger to you. Saan ba mas malayong nararating? Di ba? Yung may connection na. And it's only when you are open with one another, then you become close. And again, this may be another topic later on, but high cohesiveness in individuals within organization, which will surely yield higher and better productivity. Why? Because whether you like it or not, relationships affect performance, and at the same time, performance affect relationship. Whether it's a civic organization, church-based organization, political organization, even barkada, even classmates, and even sports team, fraternities, sororities, any organization, big or small, relationship will always affect performance. Performance will also affect relationship. It's a loop. Do you have somebody who you consider a friend in the workplace? It's really very nice to work with them on a project. Do you know of somebody in the workplace who you don't like? And suddenly, you are on the same team sa sports fest. Can you imagine the struggle? Relationship will affect performance. Bray, you just mentioned that performance also affect relationship. Simple. Do you have a friend in the workplace na because of his or her performance, ikaw yung napiit? Kasi medyo delay sa sometimes mag-report. Pero kailangan mo yung report niya para sa report mo. Yung performance mo affected sa yung performance mo affected sa performance niya. And because of his non-performance, it affected also your relationship. Yan yung sinabi ko. Relationship and performance affect each other one way or another, and vice versa. Okay. Now, if yung session natin is something that they are not interested, they will just be there for mere performance. They will just be here in the Zoom session for mere compliance and attendance. But if they are interested with the topic, they will stay until the end, even if we are already 16 minutes beyond the 5 p.m. timeout. Does that make sense? Why are you staying? Because you think and you believe that you could get something out from this Zoom session. And for the past few minutes, perhaps you enjoyed and you were engaged. You were not mere spectators. You were part of the activity that led to these discussions. And that's the secret. Keep them engaged. Make it fun. Make it engaging. Does that make sense? Intentionally invite people to connect. If we are doing this face-to-face training, perhaps I would ask you to, okay, who among you here is blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Maybe you can raise your hands or stand up or do this or do that. But here on Zoom, I could invite you to go to this link or put on the chat box, or if you are familiar with all the, if we were allowed to use the breakout rooms, we could have done the breakout room activity, or do the Kahoot, or do this reaction, and so on and so forth. But our intention here, I think most of you attended so many Zoom sessions already. You know these features. I don't have to teach you. Most of you must have more Zoom sessions than me. Cut the long story short, keep them part of the session. It's not only you feeding them, but it's a two-way relationship. In order for them to keep on the other end of the line, to stay on the other end of the line, make them be engaged. Don't just continue delivering and reading your PowerPoint slides. And in my class, I don't use PowerPoint presentations. In fact, if I use PowerPoint presentation, I just use it for my own personal consumption, but I describe it to them. I discuss it to them. I would want them to see on their screen my face and not just words on the screen. Connect. Does that make sense? But if there are important components that you really want them to show, like graph and other media, then do it. At least keep them engaged. Community connections Do you have any question? Again, keep the connection. And lastly, next slide. In order for us to provide a safe space for everyone, diba, we are inviting them to connect. Make sure that you provide them an atmosphere of support and care. What does this mean? Yes, we were talking already about connection before content. It is only when they feel safe in the environment, in the online environment, that they will open up. Diba? It's only when we are open with each other, then we become close. So if I want to be close with my members, I need to see, I need my participants or my students or my audience or my members to see that I am open. It's not only me, top to bottom, but I'm also welcoming their ideas. Does that make sense? I ask questions, I involve them, I include them. Keyword, inclusion. Yes, you are an officer of the organization, but make sure that it's not only you telling them what to do. Engage them, not only on the online discussion, but only in the planning and in the generating of whatever fun ideas that you are building for your organization for this month, for this quarter, for the year. Does that make sense? When you talk about environment of support and care, that means meaningful interactions. It's not just, okay, how about you, ano ba? What about you, Juan? Or what about you, medyo awkward lang dito kasi what I see on my screen are words or ano ba to? Abbreviations or maybe positions or areas. So if you can have in your meetings their names, so that you can call people with their names. Okay, again, connect. Meaningful interactions, meaning it's not only mere presence in Zoom session, but you feel that you make a difference in this discussion, you make a difference in this meeting, you make a difference with your participation and engagement. Organize a happy hour with colleagues or friends. Now, sometimes you may have a project in your organization, like you have these weekly webinars or bi-weekly sessions or monthly meetings. Try to organize also a session wherein you will just be there for a fun night, hang out. If you want, okay, let's have an online pizza. Bring your own pizza, okay? And let's talk about fun stuff. Let's have a what's this? What's this? Yung kanang games, trivia nights, or let's have a Kahoot night, okay? Or let's have a charades night, just for you to connect. One thing about that is, if I am a member, if I am a new member, I would start to make connections and linkages with those who were ahead of me in the organization, and then I can create connections and linkages. Although I was invited to this organization because of my friend named Juan, I'm no longer dependent na, kasi yung tendency kasi, I'm not attending a meeting or a session or a project or a program kung wala si Juan kasi I don't feel comfortable. But because of these happy hour sessions, kahit wala si Juan, I'm okay because I already made connections with other officers and members. Does that make sense? And this will keep your membership. Okay? What causes other members to fall out? Because they don't feel they belong. Wala man sila clicks. While others already have very strong clicks. And sometimes, Manggod, when we have meeting, yung mga madadaldal during sa meeting, yung laging nag-spotlight sa Zoom session nila, are those people who know each other. They keep on asking, uy, kumusta naman si Kuan? Kumusta naman si Kuan? Eh, yung mga baguhan, the more they are left out. Think about this. As you move your organization ahead, think about Obama's education campaign. No student left behind. Make sure na in whatever you talk about, everyone can hop in, join in. And if you notice na let's say for example, itong si Raymond, hindi masyadong nagpa-participate sa questions or sa discussion, pwede nyo yung tanongin, hey Raymond, okay ka pa ba dyan? I know you're driving, but again, keep safe ha. Nasaan ka na ba ngayon? Once in a while, ask them. Make them feel that they're still part of the meeting. What if di ako pwedeng mag-video kasi yung bandwidth, problema ang signal ko. Don't make it an excuse. They can still be part of the session or the meeting even if they don't have a camera or a video. They can just talk, unmute their microphones. What if problema talaga yung connection nila kasi umuulan na naman, alam niyo naman yung globe, PLDT, lahat na lang may kasalanan pag umulan. So what happens is, fluctuating internet signal, no problem. If you have a session, tapos fluctuating talaga yung signal niya, no audio, no video, then let them join in the discussion through chat. Does that make sense? They are still part of the team. Hindi yan rason na just because problema yung internet sa area nila, they can no longer join the discussion, which is very important in the sense of belongingness sa organization. Does that make sense? And most importantly, what if wala talaga, naputol talaga, wala, yung load, naubos talaga. Tapos walang kabilhan ng ano ba? Load, walang makapa-load or whatever. It's important. Wala na siya pang internet. Globeman siya. Ako, Globeman ako. Pwede man ako makatawag sa kanya. I can call him globe to globe, tapos naka-speakerphone. Then he is still part of the meeting. Does that make sense? Pwede di ay siya ma-part sa meeting kahit wala siyang internet connection. As long as matawagan lang siya. Saan ka? Saan siya? Only call ka? Only text din. Itawagan mo siya. Don't make it as an excuse to exclude people. Pero kung ayaw mo sa kanya, i-exclude mo siya. Sorry, balik ka na lang bukas. That's not nice. Okay? In experiencing inspiration and optimism when engaging online, and engaging in positive and social interactions online that link to strong ties. Key words, strong ties. And that's what will keep your membership. And sometimes you will realize if you could just make engaging sessions and keep your engaging sessions really engaging to members, it's possible that your membership would actually increase in this year. Even if hindi na kayo nag-orient or nagtumanggap ng new members, but old members na nag-fall out na, they start to come in because they see na there's a way na in the middle of this difficulty that is brought about by the pandemic, I can connect online with my Rotary family. Can you imagine that? You are able to bring back all the lost ships for the past few months or years. They are not new members. They are your prodigal sons and daughters. For whatever reason, na fall out sila, lost ships, you are trying to bring them back into your herd. Does that make sense? Why? Because now they feel they belong. There's no other way, man, to connect to other people. And we are social beings. But if you are able to provide that atmosphere of support and care in Rotary, they will start coming back. Does that make sense? Now, whew, one thing that I want you to remember before we end this, because it's already 5:29, you need to provide a safe space. And in order for you to provide a safe space for you, yourself as a leader, for your members, for your officers, for the community that you are working with or your audience in this online platform training or sessions or meetings, number one, security. Number two, physical health and nutrition should not be left unnoticed. Accountability and productivity as officers should be make sure na it's focused, attended. Community connection is given a priority, and you can only do that if you provide an atmosphere of support and care. And if you notice, if you just provide and find a way that your trainings and your sessions and your workshops and your meetings provide all this, that's actually what a safe space look like. Secure, physical health and nutrition is well accounted for. Accountability and productivity in meetings and in performance, your functions, community connections, and providing an atmosphere of support and care, that's actually space. Daghang salamat and maayong gabi. Time check, it's 5:31. I don't know if you're still, maybe we can have another session if you want more. Kasi I still have another, what's this? Tools on my end. And I still have some cheat sheets that I would have wanted to share with you. Pero maybe let's just call it a day so that it's not too much for you to digest. Daghang salamat. And I don't know if we are accepting questions.
Yes, we're open to questions. Anyways, since Scarlett is away because of the connection, we're opening the floor for questions for Bray regarding our webinar for this afternoon. Okay. Okay, I'll start the first question. Bray, how are groups affected by this pandemic? Since you are a facilitator and we're curious, how are groups being affected during this pandemic and how did they deal with this kind of experiences? Thank you.
Okay. How are groups affected with this pandemic? Number one, let's say, for example, we are looking at volunteer-based civic organization or civic community-based organization. Limited movement in as much as they would want to meet. Projects and programs are put to halt or unless if it has something to do with COVID initiatives. And because of this, whether we like it or not, we have members and officers who are actually affected by the pandemic. So we can see officers or individual members who are no longer as active with projects and activities, and it actually affect the performance of the entire organization. Less members, more challenge in sustaining membership because less projects and less activities. Let's all remember these projects and programs and activities that organizations make in the community. That's one of the ways to gather members together. And if you're not doing that, voila, we are taking out one very important component of the service-oriented organization. and some may be already in their different localities. It's not a problem, but internet connection will surely affect your interpersonal connection. So that's it. And for companies, for organizations in companies, whether we like it or not, the companies will always focus. They're always looking at their productivity, di ba? And making sure na makabawi sila with all the income or profit lost in the past few months. But the challenge here is this. Most companies, now that they are starting to get their employees back working, whether it's work from home or some of them getting back to the offices, the challenge is some companies, or not all, or maybe, I don't know the percentage, but most of these companies, okay, we're back to business. Okay, go back to what you're supposed to be doing. And dili nila nakita na these people, yes, the company had been through a very dark age for the past few months. But let's all remember that these individuals also had their own stories to tell and struggles that they are trying to get through and get over with. But some companies, nawala, they don't, parang, they want the content right away. Walay kumustahan. So in some companies that I'm actively helping now, I tell them, Bray, when they ask me, Bray, can you give us a team building session? Can you give us ways that, can you give us a training so that we can get the employees back on track para makuha balik yung productivity nila? I would always tell them, it's good, but the only way to do that is ask them again. Kumusta na? So, what I always recommend is do a kumustahan. Let your individual employees feel that the company cares for them. Once the employee, this is a positive correlation. This is in several studies. Strong positive correlation. The higher the employee perceives company support, the stronger would be his institutional citizenship, company organizational citizenship, therefore better performance, and better performance will yield better productivity, and better productivity will yield better and higher profit back to the company. So, unsa ang first step? Kumustaha ang imong empleyado? Dili kay ingno ni Modricio nga, okay, welcome back to work, paliho kog trapo ato. No. Okay, welcome back. Kumusta naman ka? I heard na grabe daw dito sa inyo sa Mambaling. How was that? Chika, connect. Mo na'y sikrito. Ing anak pod sa Rotary. Ayo inadritso nga, okay, let's have our first quarterly, our next quarterly meeting. Okay, kumusta naman tong atong meeting? Kumusta naman to atong ano? Check again. So, can you chika-chika ta? Pero ay lagi pahalata. Ano ba? As if you're allocating time for the informal discussion, but that's already part of your agenda. Wala lang. Tips lang na siya. Naka-live ba sa Facebook, no? Hi, Facebookers.
Okay, I think we have one last question before we
second
end.
Last dayon.
If you have more questions, you can type your questions in the chat box. But for this question, Bray, in contrast to the previous question, what are some aspects of groups or group connections that have strengthened now that everything is done virtually?
There are things that you can do online that was so hard to do when it was face-to-face. Whether you like it or not, here. There are people who love to talk in front of crowds. But there are those people who are intimidated with big gatherings. But in online, they can be themselves because they are still in the comfort of their bedroom or on their desk with their favorite pillow on top of their lap, and that's giving them so much comfort. Okay? Now, yes, we are in quarantine, but I want to make a wrong spelling para bang gituyo. Yes, we are limited with our movement, but instead of looking at quarantine that limits you, it would be better to look at quarantine to develop for continuous learning and growth. What does this mean? For the past few months, because I am here only in Bulacau, Talisay, Cebu, what I actually do is I got more time maximizing the PLDT fiber that we have been paying for the past few years. And what does this mean? Before, when I have my class sessions, okay, that's one of my dog. I have 9 dogs and now just 6 puppies. Kaya namatay ang usa gahapon. Anyway, when I do my class, group dynamics in psychology, USC, I would go there and I would be limited with just 25 people or 20 people in my class. When I want to learn something, I have to read books and go to trainings. But now that I have more time online and more people also have more time online, one thing that this had given me was a chance to interact with the authors of the books that I simply would just read. Why? Because they have more time online, man. So I have zombie sessions on Kadlaon hours. I have 2 o'clock. Why? Because 2 o'clock in the Philippines, Kadlaon, is 2 o'clock, man, Eastern Time, US. And that's when they have their afternoon sessions, workshops. And I get to learn. I get to sit side by side with people who I look up to. More opportunity for you to develop as a leader, as a person. I want you to, sometimes you say, ang training man good na ay bayad. There's a lot of free webinars and Zoom sessions, and sometimes even recorded on YouTube. Sometimes you get, oh, this is a very good information, and then later on realize, hala, uploaded 2015. Meaning, we did not notice that. But now, ato na nakita ang value. So, what are the positive things that this pandemic may have taught us? Is number 1, connection doesn't have to limit space. Pwede di ka mo connect with people outside Cebu. International because of this World Wide Web. Number 2, intercultural competence. As we interact with other people, with other cultures, we get to know and learn more about other cultures and what they do and how they're doing and how they are responding to this pandemic. And we also learn from them. Exchange of success stories. Okay? And number 3, continuous learning. And number 4, even you, some of you now suddenly became plantitos and plantitas. There are things that I'm doing now that para bang, this is not something that I usually do. But because of the pandemic and more time, wala, grabe. Nakatukod ko basketbulan, nang limpyo og atop, and I know a lot of you are already trying a lot of recipes. And you get to rediscover your childhood or your all-time wish. Para bang before, sometimes we thought like, Ay, too much things to do and too little time. I hope I can have a week long of no work. Then we were given month long. Di ba? And we were not ready. Muna, nabuang ta. And one thing that this pandemic may have brought us is we started to scroll on Facebook and YouTube and social media and reconnect with our old, long-lost friends. Balik gihapon ta. Connection. And you know, another thing about connection, sometimes we live in a home that you live, see everyone every day. And because of this pandemic, you get more connected with them.
Yes, thank you, Bray. One last question. One of the many challenges groups are facing now is that members have been slowly drifting away from organizations and slowly losing interest and commitment. What is your advice to these organizations having this kind of challenge, and how can we spark the connection again? That's the
As,
final question.
as officers of this organization, as an officer in your club, as an officer in your organization, honestly speaking, okay, was there a time or were there times wherein you were on a brink, you were on almost on a point of giving up because of the mess you're in, because of that so much stress that these projects and programs and activities this has brought you? Yes or no? Was there a time na almost ka nang bumigay? Was there a time? Yes or no? Yes or no? I want to hear your audio.
Go, guys.
Honestly lang, anisay lang. Was there a
No.
time wherein almost na gid bro kapuya na ani oy kapuya na kay patawag og meeting niya way manung nga kapuya na ako na lang tanan kapuya ani. Was there a time?
No.
Ang uban mauwaw lang tingali mo tubag pero it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Was there a time wherein there were instances pulling you towards that direction? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Honestly, yes.
Yes.
Normal.
Yes.
Simple question. When you are on that line wherein you're almost pulled away, one thing that you need to ask yourself is, why did you join the organization in the first place? The moment you're almost on the line of quitting, ask yourself why you joined and started in the first place. There must be that one big motivation that made you join the group, right? Now, the question is not about you, because the question is all about how to keep your members. Simple. Remind them and show them that the reason of why they joined is still alive in them. Show them that despite all these challenges and difficulties and the turbulence that we all are experiencing right now, tell them, or not really tell them, let them see that the reason why they joined is still alive, and it will give them a purpose and a why to continue this organization. Because no matter what project and program and activity, and no matter how many attendance and roll call you are doing just to make sure that they are always in your gathering and in your projects, but if their heart is no longer there because they are no longer motivated, because the motivation is no longer there, and the reason of them staying is no longer as heavy with regards to the cost and benefit ratio, then wala. they would better see themselves somewhere else than staying here and feel the pain and not being productive. So the challenge for you would be find the reason why they joined, and of course it has something to do with your mission and vision, and show them that despite all this, you are still on your way to bringing your organization to this mission and vision, and they're part of it, and you need them in order for you to move the entire organization towards that vision. That means the moment they feel that they can contribute something and they're part of this strong force, they will not quit. In fact, they will volunteer more. They will give more. And that's what you call passion. What are you passionate about? When you talk about passion, Magod, it's something that you like. When you talk about passion, it's all about something that you would do despite all odds. Remember the movie Passion of the Christ? The Passion of Christ? Something that he would do despite being crucified. And that's the point. Despite all this turbulence in the world today, the moment they see their passion and that they could be part of something bigger than themselves, it will keep them moving on, contributing. And if I remember it right, you're a service-oriented leadership organization. And that's the beauty. Because the more problems we see around us, the bigger the opportunity for you to come in and contribute something. We have big problems. That means you have big opportunity to help. Murag kana lang tingali kay ug ako pang dagayon ang istorya murag di ta maghuman ani.
Thank you so much, Brie. Those were very insightful pieces of advice to our leaders who are currently listening now here in Zoom and in Facebook. So at this juncture, we will now present the certificate of appreciation to Mr. Bray Abrea Certificate of appreciation is presented to Mr. Segundo Brea Brea Jr. for his invaluable contribution as guest speakers during the Rotaract Club of Cebu Fuente Community-Based Zoom Connect, a webinar on strengthening group connections in the virtual world, given this 3rd day of October 2020 via Zoom online. Signed, Raymond G. Kapalak, RACCFCB President for Rotary Year 2020-21. Thank you, Bray. And yeah, virtual applause.
Aba, nasa your background pakpak, ha?
Yes.
Thank you.
But before we go, may we request everyone to please turn on their cameras for a virtual picture taking. Okay.
I hope those
Raymond?
who are Tagalog speaking friends nato wala ra sila problema with my Bisaya mix. Okay ra?
Okay. We only have one page, so 4, 3, 2, 1. Smile. Again. 4, 3, 2, 1. Smile.
Anzin, idol.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, before we go, you can always contact Bray for other speaking engagements and webinars for your clubs. We will share his Facebook link in our club page so that you can reach him easier. Yes. And to everyone viewing us in Facebook, you can always reach and look for his page to explore outdoor classroom. Click like and subscribe.
Advertisement.
Yeah.
Welcome to my YouTube channel.
Okay, daghang salamat.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, Bray.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Bray. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Settled. So, as the president of the Rotary Club of Cebu Fuente Community Based, I now call the Zoom Connect webinar adjourned. Fellowship continues.
Yay! Congratulations,
Yay.
everyone.
Thank you, Sir Bray.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
sir.
Bray. Next time
Yeah.
again.
Naapay ako daghang inputs o wala na apil.
Lagi.
Another session na sad.
And
Yay.
to all our friends outside District 3860, from Rotaract de la Cudong, from Rotary Clubs of Metro Valenzuela, from Rotary Clubs of Manila Metro, thank you all for attending our session today. I hope you were able to learn from our very knowledgeable speaker. Thank you, po.
And to everyone in Facebook, thank you for watching.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you
Thank you
again,
po.
guys.
Stay
Let's
safe po.
see you soon.
Bye-bye. See you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Bye.
Sige
Iapasar
nagbabay
na
ba?
mo tubig.
Sige nagbabay ba niya? Wa nang gawas bitaw. Ay, sige, okay.
Iapasar na mo mong giveaway for you. Ipa-deliver na mo sa imong balay.
Yehe, ang ipadala. Hala, wa pa kabalik si Scarlett, no?
PM lang daw.
Oh, yung connection, wala pa yun. But we'll reach out kami for the honorarium. Okay.